So before this video starts, I just want to say that this is not my usual type of content. And also you might have seen a lot of videos on this camera review, the DJI Osmo 360. And 90% of them are paid collaborations with DJI. This video is not one of them. I bought this camera myself, and I know this video is probably going to kill any potential I had to partner with DJI. However, this was my experience with the camera. Feel free to dislike this video if you disagree with me. And I'll still be a fan of DJI because I think their products are really cool. Like, you know, I'm using the mic, have their drone, pretty cool stuff. And yeah, just want to drop this disclaimer at the front of the video before the shenanigans that is to come. So I've never actually really been a fan of 360 cameras because they mostly suck. This is my 360 camera I bought. It's a Ricoh Theater and it was probably from like 2016. And this thing is absolute garbage. At least that was 5 years ago. And times have changed. So I was in the market of buying a 360 camera recently and wow, 360 cameras have evolved. And now we got cameras like the Insta360 X5, which shoots insane video, by the way. 8K video at 30 frames per second. Great color reproduction. And it's not even that expensive at $520. Oh wait, what's this? DJI made basically the same exact camera but $100 cheaper and released it 2 weeks ago. So this is the DJI Osmo 360. And let me tell you, the excitement I had with this camera when I first opened it was like a little kid on Christmas. You know, you open the presents, oh my god, it's a new toy. And it's something fresh, you know, I never owned a 360 camera, which is actually good. And yes, I know the video is titled really badly, but we'll get into that. But I thought I should be fair because I did have some fun moments with this camera. So shooting with this 360 camera was amazing. And it also could capture things that you normally can't capture with a normal camera. Transitions like these, which, you know, just breaks the whole camera thing. Bro, that's so cool. You unlock point of views which you never get from a normal camera. And also you can do things like, you know, check the roof tiles if it's leaking. I don't know why I did that with my camera. So yeah, there's a leak in my roof here somewhere. I don't know if you can see it. Hopefully this camera can. I should really fix this. And the picture quality of this camera is just out of this world. With stunning colors right out of the box and the ability to shoot D-Log with 10-bit colors, it is amazing. I took the Osmo 360 out on a 2-day holiday to film a vlog with a bunch of my friends. We went to Genting, it was amazing. And I'll get more into the vlog later in the video. Trust me, this is very important. This vlog made this review. But one thing I actually really liked with the camera is that it worked with the DJI mics. Of course, that is the whole DJI ecosystem. We love ecosystems. But so far, everything about this camera is great. You know, shooting with it is so fun. And what's even better is using this camera for VFX. See, a 360 camera is actually very important for VFX. It was actually one of the reasons why I bought this new camera, because it allows you to capture HDRIs. What are HDRIs? HDRIs are 360 images that capture light data in your scene. To put it simply, this is my front yard and this is it with a plane in it. You see, it looks kind of weird. And this is the same plane with good and accurate lighting, thanks to the HDRI. Of course, I'm simplifying here. It's clearly not in my front yard because I don't know how to fly a plane. And this whole HDRI thing was something my old camera wanted to do, but you know, it's freaking sucks. Honestly, it was so bad I used it in Japan for one of the scenes in my old video and you know, this is a cool ass scene. The camera could not take a good HDRI. It just looked like ass. Wow. I ended up just relighting the entire scene myself and then it just didn't work out, so I just went to HDRI Haven, not to confuse with the other H Haven. So yeah, I get it. Old 360 camera bad and new 360 camera good. And then the fun stops. And apparent problems with this camera start to appear. And no, I'm not gonna pull a fast one where I go, oh my god, there's a huge problem with this camera and that it is too good, it is amazing, and the best camera in the world. No, I wish it was that way actually. So yeah, the problems. First, let's talk about the vlog. Remember like 2 seconds ago when I mentioned this? Yeah, the vlog was so easy to film. You just whip out the camera, go to town, and then worry about the edit later. You know, it's kind of like one of those Kalana services, buy now, pay later. Well, just like a buy now, pay later service, the biggest L, later, is that now you're stuck with this massive log of files to edit. Like, bro, this was 2 days and I filmed 89 gigabytes? What do you mean? And this wasn't even more than like 40 minutes of footage. And by the way, this is the lower resolution of 6K. I didn't even film in 8K. Now, I know this problem of huge files is not just an Osmo 360 problem. It's a problem with all 360 cameras because it tends to happen when you film at 8K. And I get the files are gonna be big. It's not DJI's fault. In fact, this wouldn't be a problem at all if the software putting all this together was good. Let's talk about the software. DJI Studio. DJI Studio is made specifically for this new camera, the Osmo 360, to put 360 videos together. And it genuinely sucks. See, I'm mainly a Windows user, but it's clear that this camera was put together for the specific bunch of people that only has Mac OS. Well, nothing against Mac OS. I actually have a cool laptop here. You know, MacBook, good battery life. And you know, awesome battery life. And why I say that DJI Studio was designed mostly for Mac OS is because one of its major features, the intelligent tracking software, is amazing. What it does is that you drag a square box box over the subject's face or whatever you're tracking, and it takes care of the tracking for you, like magic. It's a really cool feature that was promoted all over in their marketing, and it's not there? Huh? What? Oh, it's there, but it's only available for the Mac version of the software. And I assure you, I am on the latest software. I just updated it right before this video. I don't know why it's in Chinese. You know, that's another problem they gotta fix. It originally also renamed my projects in Chinese, which was kind of weird. It's very un-DJI-like, but it's a good thing I know Chinese. So if you're one of the unlucky folks that only use a Windows machine and you don't want to edit it on your phone, well, you just don't get one of the biggest features that is with this camera. So while editing this video, I actually realized I could use the DJI Reframe plugin for reframing the 360 videos, so you skip the entire DJI Studio app. But unfortunately, it's only available for the Mac. It's almost as if they designed this camera for only Mac users, which is kind of cool. Nothing against Mac though. Oh, but I can track it on my phone with the DJI Mimo app. Isn't that just good enough? Like, just edit it on your phone. See, I have the latest iPhone 16 Pro with its super bionic chip or whatever is inside these magic devices, and even this struggles to play back 8K footage at 50 FPS. The app doesn't even allow you to do that. You're stuck with whatever the standard definition of the video is, and I don't even know how it's gonna struggle with more video files because that's just one video file. Yeah, I'm just not editing a vlog on my phone. So how would you expect me to edit my terabytes worth of footage shot on your camera with your software that doesn't have the auto track feature, all manually reframing myself into every single shot when this feature already exists on the Mac side of the software? And by the way, the Mac software is the same version file as the Windows software, which I don't get it. Am I stupid?
Reframe after your 360 shot all on your phone.
You mean only on my phone? Because I don't have the Mac. Actually, I do have the Mac. Some people don't have the Mac to do this, and they have bought your camera. And that isn't even the only problem with the software. If you had used this for more than 3 seconds, you would have realized that this app doesn't have drag to highlight. Heck, it doesn't even allow you to select multiple clips of a video. So you can't really shift things around like a normal editor would. I mean, cool, you know, whatever, it doesn't really matter, right? Except it does. See, the DJI Studio app does not have a save or load option, and you can't save a save file for this project. Nowhere in the option menus as of now allows you to save your current progress. It does it automatically for you. And this would be a good feature, except it isn't, because when you make a mistake and you want to go back to an old save, you can't. You just have to Control Z all the way back to where you were from. This alone would have been enough for me to not buy the camera. You know, some people might still like the camera because you only use it on the phone, but it goes on. SD card issue. So multiple times within the 2-day trip, I had this problem with the SD card where I couldn't shoot more than 4 minutes. It would say that my SD card is not fast enough or it wasn't the correct SD card for the camera. Except it is. It's the same spec card that they're recommending on their website for this camera. A U3A2 V30 micro SDXC. So why am I getting this error? In the end, after the first day of getting multiple errors with this SD card, I decided to swap it over to the internal storage, which is actually pretty nice. It's one of the features that I really like. But I either got a defective camera or this is just a problem with the firmware, which they can easily update and fix. Alright, next problem. Forced login. So when you first unbox the camera, it prompts you to log into a DJI account, and within 5 uses of this camera without logging in, they basically brick your camera. You have to log into the camera afterwards to use it, even though you paid $500 real for this camera. It's as if like BMW locks you out of your car because you didn't log into your car, and then they're like, oh, you better log in because if not, how are we gonna charge you for your premium subscription heated seats? Louis Rossmann has a really good video on this because he bought the DJI Osmo Action 5 and he had the same problem where he returned it.
So I have to scan the QR code to download a fucking app.
But yes, basically you have to give DJI your private information before you can use their product that you bought. Non-replaceable lenses. So we all know that this camera does not have interchangeable lenses. It's one of the biggest problems that every YouTuber is talking about. So if you were to scratch the camera, you would have to send this back to DJI to fix it. This isn't really much of a problem, but you know, seeing the competitor Insta360 already have interchangeable lenses, and the fact that DJI already copied their half-baked software that is DJI Studio, I'm surprised they didn't copy this feature too. Not the biggest of problems, and there's a really easy fix for this. Problem solved. Okay, I forgot to film this on the green screen, but poor design. If you don't apply pressure to the battery cover, you might slide it in wrongly like this and it will snap or even allow water to go in. And there's no other way to fix it other than opening it and sliding it back correctly. But I think it's really poor design because you can get it stuck like this and you might not know and forget, and then water and moisture will go in. And lastly, DJI lens fogging. So the internal of the camera gets really hot when you record. It doesn't overheat, but it does get really uncomfortable holding it. And if you're in a cold place, that causes fogging in the camera. I personally haven't experienced this, so I'm not going to touch on it too long. But just putting it out there because I found this out after buying it, and this is kind of a big problem because the internal of a camera cannot be cleaned by the consumer. Not going to cover much of this, like I said, because I never had this happen to me, but now knowing that my camera could spontaneously have cataract, it kind of sucks. The Osmo 360 definitely feels like a first generation product, and if they were ever to make a second one or heck even update this first one, that would be pretty good. But this doesn't excuse DJI from releasing a half-baked product. And for those of you who think that the software doesn't matter for the DJI product, it pretty much is when the camera only outputs files that only the DJI Studio can read. It's pretty funny because a bunch of Redditors came out with a solution to skip DJI Studio software by exporting the entire file in its 8K glory into Insta360 Studio, which is, the competitor's software. Kind of hilarious to me. So yeah, the software is pretty much part of this camera's experience. As a very wise man once said, don't buy the product for what is promised, buy for what it is now, or something like that, I don't know. I just want to clarify that I don't have any ties with DJI or Insta360. Heck, I don't even care because I'm just a consumer that bought the product and I'm pretty salty about it because I feel like I got scammed. But am I being too mean here? Like, I feel like I'm being really fair with the points I have with this camera. Well, comment down below if you think that whatever I said in this video is a whole bunch of garbage, and dislike this video if you hate it. But promise me one thing, if you actually buy this camera and you feel the exact same experience and frustration that I have, you come back to this video and remove your mean comment and also the dislike. I feel like the problem that caused me to be this mad isn't even the camera or the software, it's more of the deceptive marketing. See, I'm the type of consumer, right, the buyer that watches at minimum 30 YouTube videos before I even add an item to my cart, and not one video, except for one review, mentions the problems that this camera has. It's almost as if all the videos on this camera was either sponsored or affiliated with DJI, because they were. And I think that was the most frustrating part because all the videos were misrepresented of what this camera actually was. I feel like DJI intentionally flooded the market with a bunch of sponsored content so that you wouldn't see the flaws of which is this camera. And I get it, that marketing strategy does work. I bought the camera. It works. And the funny part is that I'll still be buying DJI products in the future because I freaking love their products. Look, the mics, the camera, I have the drone. It's just really sad to see that they didn't put the time and effort and the care that is into the software of this camera, because if not, it would have been a really good camera. The hardware is there, you just need to fix the software. If you're still interested in this camera after all what I said, or you're a Mac user, you can find the links in the description. Or you can use the YouTube shopping links. If you're Singaporean, you get 30% off or something. They are affiliate links and I do get a % cut of it. But yeah, thanks for reaching to the end of this rant. It's not my usual content. If you like this style of content, drop a comment. It'll be really nice to know if it's good or not. Yeah, go ahead. No worries, just recording a video for myself. School project. If you do like this style of content, drop a like or a comment. It'll be pretty appreciative. And as always,